Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today we're going to talk about F. Wesley Schneider's Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen. And today I want to talk about Vogler. I want to talk more about Vogler, this city, right? And so let me explain this. Let's just talk a little bit about Vogler, but a little bit more. So Vogler is a quaint fishing village, but it's not a normal D&D city. This is the instigating festival, right? There's the Kingfisher Festival, and that culminates in the reenactment of the Battle of High Hill, right? And it's the instigating festival. There's a great joke in I forget where it was, but like in every JRPG, there's an instigating festival, and some horrible thing happens, and that's what happens exactly in Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen. And but Vogler is this quaint little fishing village. Where is Vogler? Let's talk about this, right? Because I will tell you, I am falling into Dragonlance, right? Setting Dragonlance, okay? World Kryn, continent Ansalon, Solamnia, ancient nation, right? Then there is a Hinterlund province within Ansalon. Within Solamnia. So Solamnia has provinces within it, and one of those provinces is the Hinterlund, okay? And on the Hinterlund, down the Vingard River, you will find Vogler. And the mayor of Vogler is Mayor Raven Uth. That comes before the last name in these Kryn last names. Actually, I guess it's Solamnia last names. So it's Raven Uth Vogler. So the mayor of Vogler is hereditary, right? And actually, it's just that the people, and I don't think it's like, oh, this isn't handed down like a kingship, right? The people are like, yeah, of course the Voglers are the mayor of Vogler. And there could be a new mayor elected, but people are happy with this Vogler family, right? So, and it also, and actually, I love this because, I'm kind of a coastal elite, right? Like I have 2 degrees, and I'm not rich, not even by the widest stretch, but I'm not poor, right? Like I don't pretend to be poor, right? And I literally am living the American dream. I own a home, I have 2 cars, like I got a wife and 4 kids. Like I'm literally living the American dreams times 2, right? Like so I'm not poor, but I'm not rich, right? So, but I love I have family in Kentucky, right? Like, okay? And so I like the idea of this kind of quaint, rustic world. And I'm really falling in love with Vogler, especially the way that F. Wesley Schneider presents it. It's a beautiful place. It's a quiet place. It's a place where people are simpler and kinder and more tolerant, and this is a beautiful space, right? And the way it's depicted within Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen there's just no better way for it. It's beautiful and stunning and exciting. It's a wonderful place. And I do, yeah, and I'm just going to say this real quick. So one, I really am incredibly thankful for everybody who's viewing the channel now and watching it, because I'm not at my best right now. I'm not going to pretend. Like the 2023 Manic Panic was truly traumatizing for me. I lost a lot of sleep over it. I was incredibly upset. I was really frightened, and it was traumatic. It really was, and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. And I'm incredibly blessed. I have a lot of circles of friends. I have D&D friends. I have church friends. I have family friends. I have board game friends. And one of these groups, there's a gentleman that he's about 15 years older than me. He's getting up there in age, and he's gotten to the point, and he's kind of like discussed it with me, where his age makes it hard for him to control his emotions. And every time not every time, I would say 1 out of 3 times I'll talk to him, he'll get upset and his emotions will flare, right? Or it's not, he doesn't always get angry. Sometimes that happens. Sometimes he'll get very sad, or his emotions are right at the top. And I apologize, because my emotions are right at the top right now. And I have to say, I've been thinking about Vogler, and I'm getting really excited because I know Phandalin. I have lived in Phandalin. I have run tabletop role play. I've run D&D campaigns in Phandalin, and I've been a player in Phandalin, right? And Phandalin is just this little miner city, right? Where, you know, miners go down into the ground, but like these dwarven miners live in Phandalin, and Harbin Wester is the mayor, and you know, the Stonehill Inn, and it's between Neverwinter and it's between Waterdeep, and I know it. Like, I literally know I can walk through, you know, the stone. There's no you know, paved, but I can walk through the dirt paths of Phandalin, right? And Phandalin is very close to Neverwinter Forest, right? And so, but you can look up in the sky and you can see the stars, and I know Phandalin like the back of my hand. I can feel it, right? And I have to say, I think I might know Phandalin more than literally the city I live in, right? Like, I just have these sense memories and these sensations, these memories, these emotions that are attached to Phandalin. And as I read Dragonlance, I'm like, I'm going to be here a while. You know, like, I'm going to... Vogler, you know, I'll run Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen, I'm sure, more than once. But when, you know, once I knew Phandalin, I ran a ton of stuff in it, right? And I really got to know it. I got to know the people there. I got to know the scenery there. I got to know the smells there. I got to know how the mutton tastes, you know. And it is a third place for me, right? It is a place that I live, right? And now, you know, seeing Vogler and seeing how beautifully it's crafted, right? And how much time and attention and layers of imagination and just pure power are invested in Vogler, I'm really excited about having this new place to be, right? And at the same time, I'm also very sad for people who don't play Dungeons & Dragons. They just live... it's unthinkable to me to not play Dungeons & Dragons and to live this horribly desiccated life of, like, having to either not have Dungeons & Dragons or being stuck in Pathfinder. You know, it's so, like, what do you do if you don't have these beautifully crafted worlds where you know you're going to live there and you're going to get a new set of sensory data, right? And a new set of memories and a new set of emotions, and you're going to get to know 100 people, and you're going to get to know literally the geography of it, right? And what it, you know, what the sky looks like at day and night, right? And I'm just so thankful, right? Because I've never had a near-death experience, but people, you know, but I've read books about people who have, and they say when it comes back, everything's sweeter, you know, everything, the sour is more sour, right? And I just love Dungeons & Dragons so much, and it's so precious to me now, and it's hard for me to imagine, right? Like, I cannot believe that Dungeons & Dragons means more to me now than it did a month ago, right? And I think what really is shocking to me is these people's hatred for Dungeons & Dragons increased my love for it, right? Almost like I had to make up the difference, right? And it is shocking to me. It is literally shocking to me that my love for D&D could grow, right? And that a Dungeons & Dragons canon hardback could mean more to me than it did even a month ago, right? Like, this was another great book I had from Dungeons & Dragons. It wasn't a new home, right? Like a third home, right? It wasn't like it just means so much more to me now, right? And I think that's a little bit shocking, right? I really had no idea that someone else's hate for a thing could grow my love for it. That it seems an inverse, it seems illogical, but love ain't logical, right? So I am sorry that, you know, my emotions are at the top right here, right now. And I'm sorry that it's taken me so long to discuss Dragonlance. You know, like, normally my pace is a lot higher. So just wanted to say thank you for each one of you who are taking the time to watch a video and celebrate Dungeons & Dragons with me and learn about Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen. All that's my humble opinion. I'm excited to hear yours. Please consider liking and subscribing, and have a wonderful millennium.